today. I would assume this one will be short. Um, because it's a beautiful day out and I have stuff that I'm doing. But as the title said, communication blackouts started happening globally yesterday because we got hit with two X flares and several M class flares from the sun. And it is just cooking the planet, you know? Good morning, Sherilyn. So the dude who's actually probably the one making videos of you is now texting me. But I turned the notifications shouldn't be barking because I have those turned off. So I have to do that because these obsessive freaks just, you know, just to let everyone know, dude, fake ass brand new Pootie Twang account, which was not the Pootie Twang account that was posting live videos. It's not the same account. That was posting live videos when Owen ended up dead of my town. So they obviously were in my town. But now they've gone from making videos about me. Oh, they're still making obsessive videos. We're talking sometimes 4 or 5 videos a day of just me. And it's probably Dowd texting me again. The notifications thing is turned off, you know? But now they're starting to focus on Cheryl. And so, you know, and that's incredible to me. It's just, you know, wrong in so many ways. So now they're going to harass a woman who just happens to be helping, you know, but that's what they do. That's what they do. And but the sun is cooking the shit out of all of us. And there ain't anything anyone's going to be able to do about that. And they're saying that what the sun doing is the weird shit that it did, our power grids could be in trouble. It knocked out power globally in a lot of places. And so they're saying that our technology and stuff. Let me do this. Okay. I did that. And so I'm probably not going to stay on here long. All of this shit is being, you know, and the child killers, and it's not just that they traffic kids, they murder people too. That's why I'm being harassed right now, because they want me to shut up about the whole thing with Sherilyn. You're going to probably be busy today. That's just what I'm assuming. And so I just figured that hey Lavinia, the sun is cooking us. It's gonna fry the technology. The satellites are already having problems with it. But shit is getting ready to change drastically. And everything is getting ready to shift. And all of the shit that we think is so important now isn't going to be very important very soon. And this group of fucking dumbasses who have spent all this time telling themselves how powerful they are because they're part of a group that's able to traffic kids and commit crimes, and they get away with it, and thinking that there's no accountability, are about ready to be proven wrong in a way that defies words. And they can't see it. They can't even admit it. They're the ones who are in control. That's what they tell themselves, but they can't even control themselves. They're obsessive, weird ass freaks, you know? That dude making the videos, I know he thinks that he's just, I don't even know what he thinks. But from a perspective that's not his, it looks creepy. It's just creepy, you know? And so, um, they're gonna go after, and Sherilyn knew, you know, things might be in the works. Things are in the works. That's just it. Things are in the works. And they're gonna do whatever the fuck it is they're gonna do. And nobody can stop them. Nobody can control them. But I think God, everything is providence right now. You know? Everything is providence. I think that things are shifting. And even though I'm making plans, I'm not doing it because of them. You know? It could be why your phone wasn't working. It knocked a bunch of shit out. And communication went down around the world. America didn't experience it, but a lot of people did because of what's happening. Now the corona, that hole on the sun that has gotten increasingly larger and larger and larger. This is the 9th time around, and they're thinking it's going to be huge again. You know, it's growing. And that just hits with nothing but coronal mass injections, which is just heat and radiation just pumping into the earth. And, well, the whole solar system. I mean, we're not the only ones there, but we're at the end. We're at the end. Life as we know it is about to end quicker than any of us should be comfortable with. And what was promised is coming to pass. That's the reason why these assholes can do whatever the fuck it is they want to do, but they don't realize the consequences are going to be severe. The consequences are going to be severe. They don't want to hear it. They want to tell themselves, you know, be careful of those fraud attempts, Lavinia, because they say that even them saying that it's fraud, that is a scam all in of its own too. You know? Yeah. I think that we're going to start having a lot of problems because it's frying our technology. The satellites are not accustomed to the heat and radiation that the sun is pumping at us right now. And yesterday, again, 2 X flares, several M flares. It was quiet. And they were like, oh, the sun is quiet. And all I kept thinking about was, well, that's usually not a good sign. Because when things go quiet, it gives it a chance to build. And if it was going crazy and then it just goes quiet, that's a time to maybe be concerned. You know? The calm before the storm. There's so many scammers right now living again. Their shit is about ready. And I know what heaven helps me with. You know? I know what heaven helps me with. And the solar maximum isn't supposed to be over until next year. You know, and even then it's not like a light flipping. It's as long as it took to get here, it's going to take that long to calm it back down. So it's far from over. You know, that's the problem is that it's far from over. And it's already happened. They've extended that to 2026. The solar maximum, the actual solar maximum isn't going to be, they're saying that it's going to be about 2026, you know. Oh, I know, Lavinia, you know. And Sherilyn gets constant. Oh my God, if you're older and you have a house phone, nobody even has house phones anymore. And the people who do have house phones, they harass the shit out of those people. I know several people living in the Midwest who still have house phones, and their phone rings, the house phone rings, but it's never anybody because all of their friends call them on their cell phones. You know, I had a friend of mine who was taking care of his mom and his sister, and oh my God, the phone just kind of rang off the hook. And they told me, no, we never answer it because it's always scam calls. Anybody who knows us will call us on our cell. So just, try finding a payphone. There are no more payphones. There's no more payphones. When our technology goes down, it's going to suck. And all I know is that in Omaha years ago, we had this weird ice storm. And it hit in the fall. So all of the leaves were on the tree still. And it just rained ice. So it did a lot of damage. And a lot of unpaid toll messages. That's the other one to look out for. There's no tolls around here. I don't have any unpaid. And I get those every once in a while. But, so anyway, the limbs all came down, knocked out all of the electricity. People 2 weeks later, because it took them forever, because it took down everything. 2 weeks later, people were laying in front of their utility trucks, begging them to turn on. People went crazy after 2 weeks of no electricity. So I don't think it's going to go well if the power grids go down. Because if that power grid thing takes months, and they said sometimes it'll take months to get it fixed, people being without electricity for months is going to drive them insane. It's going to break down society. And that's what I'm afraid of with all this, That's where we're headed. And so everything would die. We would have no, and you can't find generators, Hopefully, everybody who says we'll be fine, nobody, the whole thing about it is if it was just one thing or another thing, but it's everything. Everything is focused on mankind right now and the demise of mankind. Anybody who says that the planet is not heating up is lying to themselves. And I don't think that it has, I'm sure we influenced it, but I'd be willing to bet that all the heat and the gamma radiation that the sun has just been pumping at us at a time that we have very little magnetic field because the poles are getting ready to switch. And so it's just funny how it's all conspired and fallen into place at the time that it has. And so only the young think that every day is just, we're all guaranteed the next day. They never think about anything. As you get older, then you start realizing, I've never had that shit. I'm surprised I lived to 58. Hey, cognitive. But, tomorrow is not guaranteed. Fuck, 5 minutes from now isn't guaranteed. So to say that everything will be fine when so much, and we're being run by idiots. Globally, we're being run by idiots. So no one's going to figure it out. Name one politician or world leader that would actually stand up and save humanity. Not there, All I know is what is on NASA and the shit that's going on. We're being inundated with fucking heat, Volcanoes are going. The New Madrid just had how many small earthquakes around it? Yellowstone is having an issue. Everybody, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's all providence. But just think that it won't happen just because it can't happen, because not on your watch. I mean, it just certainly wouldn't happen to you. You know? It's just, I think that things are shifting and changing. And I think that all of the gamma radiation that's affecting everything on the fucking planet is having an effect. You know? All I know is the shit that comes out. I listen to NASA, the Earthmaster on YouTube, Space News. That's the shit, you know? There are patterns of warming and cooling. There are. There are patterns. But right now, we're in a period of judgment. We are. And these dumbass, child trafficking, dark ass lovers that all think that they're protected by the dark are about to find out otherwise. And it's not going to happen like a Hollywood movie. If it follows like we were promised, it's going to take a bit. And you want to know why? Because in the end, it said that the living will envy the dead. That's how bad it's going to get. And everything is just breaking down. Societal wise, too. There are dumbasses who don't have a fucking clue how to be nice, and they think being a dick makes them powerful. That's, you know, especially in America, it is just amazing. And then these idiots complain and bitch that people don't like them. Well, no, people don't like you. You offer nothing to the situation. All you do is talk shit about yourself, each other, and everyone else. That's the reason why all these videos and them having they can have days long webcasts and talk about nothing but me, and it won't make them any more likable because they suck. You know, misery loves company, and more importantly, misery loves miserable company. They like everyone. You know, it's cold in France, it's warm here. You know, it's actually really nice, and it's kind of windy, as you can tell. You know, nice breezy. It's enjoyable today. The emails that I have gotten, and just, I'm not even thinking about it today just because I just don't know how to respond. And there are some of you who have seen the shit, and I just don't know. I have to be honest. I have wondered that if their strategy now is, look, we're so inept and crazy that we couldn't possibly be guilty of what David Shurter is saying. You know? And I swear to God, I think that's the argument now. You know? And so, and I don't know how to respond to it. I don't know what to say. The last email, Thomas, it was all about Nathan Stoltman. But I have people who tell me that Nathan seems fine right now. But there's a completely different story being said by Thomas. And why the fuck would he be so involved? For being like I said, for being just a little musician, he sure is involved with fucking everything and everyone. You know? Shit. You know? And that's not a common thing. You know? How many of you are all in to everyone's shit on social media? You know what I'm saying? You know I don't even watch their shit. I just, because I don't care. I just really don't care. And that's, you know, I just don't care enough to watch their shit. Or, you know, the only reason why I know the dude is making videos now is because I get mentioned in them. And I have people who are watching them. And I really do appreciate that there are those of you who actually found those videos and reached out to Sherilyn to let her know about those videos. Because they're obsessive as fuck. And if it was about me, why would they go after Sherilyn? But now they're going after Sherilyn. You know? And so the whole situation for me is just, they don't want their child trafficking bullshit and all of the murders that they're involved with. Because when you look at it, these people are involved with a lot of fucking dead people. And it seems like a majority of them have all committed suicide, you know? But then if I was friends with them, I, you know, might consider it as well, you know? Child trafficking. That's what this stream is about. I'm trying to expose child traffickers. But it's also shifting now and actually trying to give people encouragement because we're in rough days right now. You know? I wrote a book, Rabbit Hole, got nominated for Book of the Year when I published it, 2012. It's $30 from me. My PayPal and Venmo are just Shurter. I have a website, davidshurter.com, so you can go look at, that has just a ton of information on there. And videos, you know. Oh my God. Scenes is how my mother has been dead for a long time. That's creepy. I don't make books. I published it through Amazon. I got nominated for Book of the Year, though, when I published it. You know? Actually, to go to this account, go to the very beginning of when I started to publish videos, and that will give you a good view of where I'm at. Because there's a lot of videos on here. I have, 1,000 videos on here? A lot of it is just for documentation, especially the last year and a half. The last year and a half to 2 years when I started talking about Isaac Cappy and opened up comments, because for a lot of years I didn't do comments. But I ended up, there's a lot of shit that you can go look. Yeah, and anyone who actually gets a thing, anybody, you know, they're on top of me in a way that I cannot even begin to describe to you. They come into the house, they're still coming into the house. It's not like just burglars can come in. And now I'm actually running and hardwiring several cameras so that they just won't even go out. And, have stuff to where, you know, I've had to secure everything, but all of this shit is government, you know, who is helping them may not be, government, but they're working for them, and they have their little toys, and that's just it. You know, they have their little toys. And the shit that they're doing to me is not any different than they've done to a lot of people. And yeah, these solar flares are threatening technology as bad as they say. They're afraid we're going to have a Carrington event. A Carrington event will fry our power grids. And that's what they're afraid of. We had one in the late 1800s. It lit all of the telegraph places on fire simultaneously. Because what happens is that it hits so much, there's amp energy to the son's shit. And so please like and subscribe. Thank you, Sherilyn. You know. So I just think I know that this stuff is being taken care of with God. And I think that they're going to start realizing that everything is going to be taken care of. There's going to be some serious shit ahead of all of us. And those of us who die quick, I think we'll end up feeling like we're the lucky ones. And, but they think they face no accountability. They hide in the fucking dark. The dark is what makes them feel powerful. So they're owned by the dark, by their own admission, and yet they don't understand how it's all going to work. It's just weird dealing with this group because they think all of their shit actually matters. And it hasn't mattered for a long time, and it's getting ready to not matter. But what will matter is that they're going to face accountability for their group. And all those who helped them and all of that, they all get claimed. You know, they all get claimed. And they don't realize that that's what's coming. They just don't realize, oh yeah, I can't believe I made it for 58. But when I see young kids, I feel sad, you know? And then they're in here, and a lot of these Nazis are ageist. So they don't like people who are old. And it is true that youth is wasted on the young, because I feel honored to be at 58 years old. And that I actually, because I know a lot of them aren't going to make it. And so it's weird how, you know, live fast and die young is their motto until they're actually having to face death. And then it suddenly is not so much their motto anymore. And I just don't understand that, you know? I don't know enough about the wars. I know that Putin is a bad guy, but as far as the, you know, it's funny because the India-Pakistan thing, they don't talk a lot about the issues or what's going on in America. Have you noticed that? We know that they're going to war, but do any of us really know what that war is about? You know? It's weird, isn't it? You know? It's... Do any of us really know what the war... I don't. And I feel like, you know, if there was stuff out there that I could see, I would definitely be watching it. But I also don't surf a lot of it. I'll need to look. Because to be honest, I haven't looked. But I know I'm not the only one. And because I haven't looked, I have nothing to say about it. Because what I would have are uneducated opinions. And what good are those, you know? I can't give an educated opinion of who I would really wish that mankind wasn't killing mankind, period. Because you know what happens. The sides that are warring don't get killed at all. Barely ever. It's all the innocent people that are stuck in the fucking middle of it. That's who all get killed. And so, you know, but, hey, Susan. Sherilyn is on the ball. So if there were no more wars, I would be happy. I know that's a product of the 60s, but then love has actually become trite. That's what I think a lot of people just, you know, their hearts have grown cold. Their hearts have grown cold. And not everybody. That's the whole thing. That's what I am so blessed with on here, opening up. What tree is behind you? It's just a willow tree. It's just a willow tree. And a wrought iron thing that I bought a bunch of cheap impatiens to put in there. Because a friend of mine an old friend of mine gave me that, so I always use it every year. And that's just it. The poles, the electromagnetic fields are weaker because they're getting ready to switch. The North Pole is moving right now. You know? It's the North Pole is moving right now. And so we're in a spiritual matrix. That's what I believe. We're in a matrix, but it's a spiritual matrix. And what we do right now matters, but on a level that we don't much understand, because this is a spiritual simulation. Will we do what we're supposed to do? It's like we're being tested, and this is all. But I think because life is so short on this side, that this is actually really the dream, and the other side is what's real. And so we're being tested here. And what will we do? You know, what will we choose? And every choice that we make is constant. You're constantly making choices. Whether or not you're conscious of those choices is another question. No, I'm not Jewish. Do not look at the sun. Yeah. You know, anybody who goes out into the sun and feels it can tell that it's way more intense than it used to be. Right now, the sun is incredibly intense. When you're standing out in the sun, it's incredibly intense. That's anyone who goes outside can feel that, you know? We're all being held accountable for our choices. And not making a choice is making a choice. And those who don't make choices usually are choosing poorly and choosing wrong. Because to do right and actually be a good person actually takes focus and dedication right now. It's so much easier to be a dickhead, you know, and do all kinds of dark shit to people. It's being encouraged. And so to actually be a decent person and do the right thing, you know. Sherilyn. You guys aren't going to like fighting with Sherilyn. She's pretty good. Well, I'm just saying in Iowa, it feels way different. And we're in fire scare all the time, you know? So obviously something has happened. Because it never rains, or it rarely rains, and they don't want you to light a fire around here because they're afraid things will just start lighting up on fire. And so I agree to a degree, Paul, that it is easier to not offend than it is to offend. But it's almost like reality television has pervaded all of our lives. And now people feel like they're in a reality television moment, and they go out of their way to just be as weird and as bizarre as they possibly can. Even though there's no cameras usually on. That's, I don't know what it is, but people there's something definitely happening with people. That's all I'm saying. In my personal experience, it is like living in the Truman Show. But I will say that I think that the veil is being lifted. And people are making a choice. And I think that people who are given the chance to make a conscious choice that they're aware of choose the light, choose to be compassionate, choose to be what we're supposed to, that we're supposed to live the word. And so I just think that we're all being forced to make a choice, you know? All right, well, I'm going to kind of get off of here. This needs to be a short one anyway. Thursdays always have to be short. But, and I am sure that Sherilyn's fingers are tired. Just this whole thing has exhausted me today. Oh my God. I'm going to pray though, Heaven, we come to you and just ask that you guide us. Keep us strong. Keep us focused. Keep us aware and give us strength when we start to lack and feel that we are just not enough. Help us to be more. We are grateful that you sent your son, our brother, Jesus Christ, down to teach us the word. The word is how it works. The word is everything. We're in a spiritual matrix right now, and there's a virus that is making people's hearts grow cold. And we throw ourselves on your mercy, and please don't let our hearts grow cold. No matter how much pain we may have to endure, let us love and be compassionate and human to each other as best as we can until we can all get through this. And we say these things gratefully and lovingly with your son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. And so, all I see is message deleted. God does exist. Trust me. The other side exists. The other side exists. I'm not going to get into an argument about the Bible because really when it comes down to it, editing has a lot to do with everything. But send your questions or even comments if you have stuff that you want me to talk about. God is definitely real. Thank you. God is definitely real. dshurtermod@gmail.com. And just say, what you'd like to focus on. Today's Thursday, so I'll probably do one Saturday. Thank you, Sherilyn. dshurtermod, if you have anything. Rabbit Hole is for sale. It's $30 through me. Tell me who I'm inscribing it to and where I'm sending it. It's $30 for America. If you're outside of America, you need to get a hold of me because then I have to figure out how much it's going to cost to send. But PayPal and Venmo are just D. My first initial D, my last name Shurter. Thank you. Being a good person just takes intent. If you want to become a good person, focus on it. Love. Fill your heart with love. Simple shit to begin with. Open doors for people. Manners matter. If we could just be respectful to each other, that would actually, I think, help a lot. And so I think that would be the first step. If you're trying to be a good person, manners matter. So, but PayPal, Venmo, D Shurter, Just my first initial, my last name. My blog, davidshurter.com. I have videos. If you're new, you can go to um, the beginning of this station and watch the earlier videos. You'll see, what what started all this. Um, just keep in mind that they are targeting people, because now they're targeting Sherilyn. And yes, they're dumbasses and all of that, but they did blow up the Earling, Iowa gas station. They did murder Owen and brag about it. So they're nowhere near as inept or as crazy as they want to perceive. Crazy like a fox. They're fucking devious. And so the fact that, cognitive, they unsubscribe me from your channel. I see people, the numbers go up and down, but it's all about their child trafficking bullshit. They think they're not going to be held accountable. And they don't think they're going to be held accountable, and they're going to be held accountable. They're about to be held very accountable. But again, my focus is, when you want to burn down a house of cards, you don't start at the tippy top. You start at the foundation. And so the worker bees need to be busted out so that it can't run business as usual. That's my goal in this, so I can disrupt business as usual. And if these dumbasses think they're being investigated and watched out, it's going to make them a lot fucking harder. Yeah, but whenever it's like that, Sherilyn, they're always fake, And since Dowd was texting me at the beginning of this and all of that, I'm just surprised. That's why I keep touching my phone, because I'm surprised it's not getting hot, But this shit needs to be brought to a halt. And the only way to do that is to expose them. So that's what I'm trying to do, is expose them. And I'm never going to stop. And now there's a group of us that are all starting to get together. So, because it can't just, I tell people all the time, it's not all about me. Because when it's all about one person, they just take out that person, that it all goes away. And I don't want it to be just about me. I want it to be about all of us, because we all care, And that's the whole thing is that we all care. So it'll bring us all together. So if there's a group of us, they take out one or two of us, it still keeps going. And that's how it works. That's how it should work. And that's why it can't be all about me. It's about all of us as a whole. I'm just really loud and outspoken, but that's me, And so, thank you for, like and subscribe, please. My moderators, like and subscribe. The Earling, Iowa gas station. Earling is Earling. If you go to my blog and you hit the search bar that's on the right, scroll down a bit, there's a search bar. You can type in names. It'll pull up names. You can type in areas, places, Yesterday, or the video I did, the last video I did, that's the one that you want to listen to, where I'm not going to call them out every single video, In fact, some of these, I don't even want to do it, My place was right across the street and a half a block down. Had that wall gone down, the 300 plus pound debris that went 9 blocks the other way, because it went out the garage doors, had the wall come down all of that shit would have brought my house down. because I had a great big house on a hill right there. It would have brought my house down. And so it's just so bizarre. It's surreal is what it is. You know, it's surreal. I pray all the time. Every day. Every day I pray. In fact, throughout the whole day. Because every day my focus is always on God. It's just because growing up to think that I was going to be the vessel for the Antichrist, it's just always been like that. And so it is heaven. The only reason why I'm still here is because of heaven. And because I'm still here and it's because of heaven, I'll never stop fighting. I will never stop fighting. And I know that there's a lot of you out there that won't either. You know? And that's the whole thing. We'll never stop fighting. They'll never quiet us. And but now they're trying to actually intimidate Sherilyn, a woman, you know? And I'm not saying a woman like she's incapable or anything like that, because far from the truth. Far from the truth. But the fact that that's what they think, that their stupid shit is going to intimidate her, is just, it's irritating. Because they think everyone is fucking stupid. And but let me tell you, because I know they watch, you best watch your step, because you're being watched by so many people now. So many people are watching you. It's not, you're no longer in secret. That's the whole thing. You're no longer going to do all this shit in secret. There's no more secret shit. Now, if you're going to do your shit, just do it out in the fucking open, because that's what's happening right now anyway. People are watching now. You know? People are watching. And it's going to be a lot harder to do this evil shit, because people are watching now. And take out another person like you took out Owen and see what happens. Because I do not think that it's going to. I think people have had enough. I think people have had enough. I know damn well I have. You know? So I'm going to get off here. I'll be back in on Saturday in the afternoon. I can't promise when, because it's Saturday. But we'll figure it out. But it'll be Saturday afternoon. Oh, Jason. You're just critical. You know? Whatever. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.